Yeah, now it's a recording. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Brother Angjomu from far away in the United States, and Abel is now in Singapore. And actually, 2 days before the Idul Fitri celebration, I was also in Kuala Lumpur and Perlis for 1 week. So I cannot imagine during fasting month having a trip. But we did it, and we still do our fasting. It was all in a preparation of our university, inshallah. First of all, of course, we thank to Allah, to God, because of His Bahtiar is now coming, for His blessing and mercy. Welcome, Brother Bahtiar. Thank you for joining. And then the second, of course, we would like to hear from Brother Mu and of course from Abel about the progress of our project. It is indeed very important for us, especially when we are approaching to the Congress that Muhammadiyah is going to hold in November, 18 November. This is also the day of the birth of the organization. So we're celebrating our, I think, 100 and I don't know 4 or yeah or 6 years old. But of course, we would like to welcome you all if we have later hybrid models. Yeah. So from United States, also from everywhere, we will give you access in some certain event that you can all join. Of course, it will be in Bahasa Indonesia. We will be very happy to translate some. I think this is what my introduction. This time, what I want to hear from Mbak Abel, especially, is about the progress of the project. I think the building is mostly that will be waiting from the report. As I remember that we still owe you some budget that we need to commit. Of course, we will be very happy to receive your forecasting and of course, again, about the timing. For us at the Muhammadiyah Aid, we do understand about the situation there. So although this has been prolonged for 1 year about the project, but we do understand that this kind of situation is a must. So it's not something that really burdening in our project timeline. As long as our commitment to finish this project is still on the integrity that we all commit, then I think we will be okay for this situation. So this is from my side. Maybe before we hear from Mbak Abel and Brother Mu, Mas Bahtiar, do you have something to add for the meeting, for the exit strategy that we want to discuss?
Okay, continue to talk with Ms. Abel and Brother Mo to give and deliver the information about the development of our project in Sidway. I just listen from the beginning.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Brother Bahtiar. Actually, we have well, not really a question, but it is like a concern over the not specifically the project in Myanmar, but it is mostly on the financial matters that we Muhammadiyah and Lajismu is doing the report since a month ago. So that's why we want to complete. We do have a pending report from Palestine side, the project. and we have one in pipeline also, but this is not something we want to discuss here. But for us, it is on the project that we do in Sidway here, that we want to really know what is the current situation and the exit strategy that we will be finishing of this project. So please, Abel and Brother Mu, we want to listen your progress and update of the situation.
Okay, thank you so much. First of all, thank you very much, brother, both of you, for continued support and being flexible enough over the difficult circumstance in Myanmar to carry out and the program, even though it didn't go according to the timeline that we had planned because of a lot of unforeseen constraints and challenge. I think together with your advice and our team's efforts and Babel's technical oversights on how to manage on this, we are very happy with what we are able to be done, and we are proud that we are able to do together with your funding, with your support, and with your guiding. And this project will, even though this is an exit strategy, this is the milestone for Muhammadiyah Aid in Myanmar, and it will remain the infrastructure that we have developed, despite the activities that we do inside there, will be funded from maybe different and these will be continued activities being planted, and infrastructures will remain to in the name of Muhammadiyah. And it will impact many lives and like it will cover significant number of people who are desperately in needs of assistance, support to survive and to live with dignity, to live with right. More importantly, it will integrate Muslim community together with Buddhists to have it is already doing, like, to have the peaceful coexistence and tolerance among different community and to live with the dignity. And I think we are able to complete everything as we promised quantity wise, but matter I will have to apologize that the time has taken longer than it's supposed to be once again. And the quality of the work has been done has been far good than we were able to do in the past in Northern Rakhine State, which we have presented to you as a project like achievement in the past. And also the fact that the graduate from theirs and they are going back to their community and continuously working. Despite we end the project, we will keep you posted occasionally, and we'll invite you as well in the event sometimes to talk about to see, like, after 6 months or a year, see what you have supported to be planting, how it is growing, and what is the fruit look like, and this will be also can be success story for it doesn't have to be continuously, I mean, funded in the given constraint that we all have, but we can send you also informations like video and things like that in the future that you can display. Okay, this has been last 2 years ago, has been supported. So something like that. And two things from my end, and we need a letter from you to finalize. We have the temporary ownership or registration things from the Rakhine State Council, but they, for one of the center, they need a letter saying Muhammadiyah has, like, only for the, we don't need to show them the whole budget. We just need to tell for this specific center, the last center that we have constructed, we need one letter saying, I will send you the draft letter today or tomorrow. It's like a few lines of Muhammadiyah, and we were just taking the land price and then construction price. So Muhammadiyah has donated for constructions and land of this center this much. And it will not reflect the total value of the contract because we are just taking for this. So if you can sign that, that would be much appreciated.
No problem, brother. Do whatever you need, and I'll, this can make easy for everything. Yeah, then we will be definitely doing what we need to do. Yeah. So
thank you.
That's great. Hearing the update from your side now. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. And one last thing that I have is, like, given in banking situations in Myanmar, we are we're having some financial difficulties because of
Yeah.
cash flow,
Right.
not because of the money that we don't have.
Mm.
So we would like, since everything has been completed, and we
Yeah.
would like really appreciate if we can get like the remaining payment
Right.
after everything that we supposed
Yeah.
to be delivering to you, we will deliver whatever.
Yeah.
So that too.
No, we're definitely very flexible in that matter. Just like the last one, how difficult and how we go and back the transfer of the fund, which is finally end up with all to Abel, and we don't know how she managed it, but we believe and we put highly trust between us. I mean, this organization, Muhammad and your CSI, and everyone working on these two organizations. So we don't have any hesitant at all in terms of how to make things going easy. I know the difficulties, and I believe whenever I report it to our leaders, to the central board, they will be also understanding.
Thank you. Just to give you one example, brother, like last 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, so the central bank has put new rules for all the foreign incoming transactions to Myanmar. So even
is it
but
making easy or difficult?
so they have withhold our one of our incoming transactions of $20,000, and they are asking a lot of document which we have provided, and then it seems that they are doing a lot of different organizations like that, so yes. So the thing is that there is no way to go to to send money to Myanmar anymore from outside, unless it is very complicated. So even to survive as an organization, for many organizations, it's gonna be very complicated. So we are trying to find new ways. And I mean, with Babel, we are lucky to have her, because she is sometimes research director, and sometimes executive director, and sometimes finance director, and sometimes
everything.
she managed that we had to pay a lot of staff sometimes outside in different because some of our staffs are diverse, and we cannot pay even though the money is inside Myanmar, some of the money come from in-country donors. We can send money out, so it's not clear if we have cash outside to send to those people. Like for example, in Philippines that we have a staff who have been relocated back, and in Malaysia we have a staff who are stuck, cannot go back because of the current situations. And in Indonesia we have a staff, so it's for us it's hell, because we cannot make outgoing transaction to make their, despite we have money for them in country. So it's work in different way, and it's really help us indeed. And thank you so much for being flexible.
Sure, yeah, no problem. Brother Adnan is still there, right, with you? I mean, in Yangon.
Yeah, he's there.
Great man. Okay, good. Thank you very much, brother. It's a very complete. And now we want to hear from Abel on the ground project, and how much commitment that we Muhammadiyah have to to for the financial related matters. So please, Abel.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, I just want to comment on what Paung just mentioned. Not finance director, but finance officer. So I went to the bank to transfer to Philippines, to Malaysia. Yeah, it's not a director's job at all. So, but yes, we did most of the things from Indonesia. So I would like first to update about the projects. As I sent already the draft for the final report. It has now been finalized with the better templates, etc. We would like to incorporate all the photos of the activities of the graduation, etc. So I'm working on that with my team so that we can deliver a really nice and substantial, for sure, for the report, the final one. And then both of the buildings physically have been completed, like both of them. Yes, and then activities have been carried out in both centers. the community center and the vocational center.
Yeah.
And then what Pa Aung mentioned is just the additional permission that we need to submit in order for us to be able to carry out more activities, especially in the new building, which is the vocational center, because we have some of the equipments, instruments there, so it needs more permission than the other one, which is the community center, only books, etc. So the permission to carry out like specific activity skills there, that's we would truly appreciate if you could sign the later on.
Definitely, I will.
Yes, and then we actually very happy to see like the progress. As you could see from the video, that's just a glimpse of that, the activities and then the trainings that have been carried out before the graduation. But the activities actually still going on with different donors. We recently received funding from SBS, Switzerland, to hold like multiple meetings for the community leaders that actually was built through the funding from Muhammadiyah Aid, and then those community leaders, and then we continue to maintain the relationship, and then for them to have a monthly meetings, for example. So this additional, like the new donor would fund that specific those activities, so that it will not stop just like that. I mean, like we would like to see the sustainability of this, how it will play out. So that I really believe that having these two centers really become like a good start as entry point for better relationship between Muslim and Rakhine. As of Monday, a new policy has been imposed that is Rohingya students can enroll in Sidway University, which has been since 2012 they couldn't enroll and be present at the university, but since Monday the new enrollment started. And then I talked with some of our staff there that actually the Rakhine people, they help the Rohingya students to enroll, and then it's very different with in the past that they were very kind of like ignorant, and then didn't support, and then they the tension was there. But it's just like a few days ago, but we will see. Like,
let me interrupt you there. You know,
it's brother.
It's indeed me, mastermind behind all these things, working with this youth. So we also recently I helped them to form Rakhine Muslim Student Union in different parts. So the Arkan Student Union is working with Arkan Arkan Muslim Student Union is working with Arkan Student Union to help it happen. So we have Mongdo District Arkan and Arkan Muslim Student Union, and yesterday it was announced, and everything was like I have been working really like all these things.
And we believe I was assuming that, you know, it is not, of course, the work of us. I mean, it's a work of all people in Rakhine, in Sidway, but we believe that there is something that you at the CSI is doing something on this, and that's really our concern also. You know, back when we were in Myanmar, that I just cannot imagine why students cannot go to university after they, you know, graduated from the senior high school. So it is really a news that now is. And then later I will inform you when we have time during this meeting. At the we call it UMAM for Muhammadiyah University in Malaysia. At the moment we're opening only for PhD, brother, in 5 program study: IT, management, business, education, social science, and Islamic studies. But maybe in 5 years, we'll be having master degree, and then later followed by the undergraduate. So there will be if I'm still there, I will be really, working for Rohingya students to have a scholarship at our university, at least for the master. For the time being, if they can go to Perlis, where the university is located, then, but we're not offering the scholarship yet because we are still very young. Okay, anyway, this can be
Very
discussed
good
further.
news. Very good news. Now let's work together. Now,
Sure.
really
Yeah.
love to see a student being supported, sent from Rohingya
Sure. Yeah.
community and Muslim community larger as well from Rakhine State and Myanmar,
Yeah.
connecting to
My
Muhammadiyah
Yeah,
University.
the so far Muhammadiyah is working mainly on these three countries, Thailand for Patani, well actually four, but we are very minimum for Bangsamoro in Philippines. But our hard work is on Patani and then on you of course and Palestine. So these three nations should be a priority in dealing with the university education. One question, Bell. How
Not
much?
yet finished, Pa.
Oh, okay. So, okay.
You are too excited already.
Yeah,
I,
it was,
I
it
will
was
have to
really exciting listening that you on
I
the
will have to leave
university.
a bit early, so it will allow you to speak in Bahasa Indonesia as well. And I just have like two things to ask
Sure.
brother Dr. Ridwan.
Yeah.
Like we have a few student like for for Rohingya student in Rakhine State.
Okay.
Like those who are in Sittwe can go to the university if they're enrolled, but for uh, for a student that's are not from Sittwe can't go to, even though they are enrolled, they travel because the student union
Oh,
cannot issue the travel permissions. They can only help to
nice.
get enrolled and admitted because there are authorities within university campus, and the authority, the student union doesn't have any authority on the authorities outside on the local
Okay.
law enforcement. So we are working on that. So that's mean still there is a significant number of Rohingya students like from 2010
Mhm,
from 2012 as of today,
mhm,
not being able to go to university. And there are a few quite outstanding one, like like did very good in high school, like
mhm,
very good in English and things like
mhm,
that,
mhm,
like getting A plus in every subject in high
mhm,
school graduations, like
mhm,
being like number one
mhm,
in among like let's say 10 like 1,000 students being
mhm.
sitting. So we have a few students who are seeking to opportunity to study abroad.
Okay.
So for bachelor, if Muhammadiyah in university in Indonesia has any opportunity for to accept like 5 to 10 Rohingya student
Mhm,
under different discipline, like that would be my first question. The second would be, since we are exiting, we would like to keep, of course, the connections with the Muhammadiyah, whether
mhm,
it's in publications, research, or continuing the.
mhm.
So if you have any remaining resource, a small to big, like a small
Yeah.
scale is fine. It's not a matter of because the relationship
Mhm.
uh, will remain more proactive and alive like grain
Okay.
when we have like a bit of like legal ties and fiscal ties, you know.
Mhm,
So I would be wondering if Muhammadiyah would have like very small scale funding to do the to support our research work, or like it doesn't have to be like big amount, you know. It's like last one, like
mhm.
uh, small scale, very small scale to keep
Right.
this relationship alive.
Sure.
And then maybe what would be best is like to support very small component of the work in the center
Right.
so that center could remain to the Muhammadiyah until we hand
Yeah.
over in 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Like it could be like a $1 to $3,000 a month of
Mhm,
activities. You know, overall a year it shouldn't exceed maybe $20,000, something like that. Very
mhm,
small scale. If you can see possibility of
mhm,
connecting this so that we are
mhm.
not exiting, we are continuously strategizing for a permanent exit together to hand over these things. So that would be my two things, brother.
Mhm. The last thing is it I'm not quite catching up the point. Is it the students studying still in Sittwe or studying in Indonesia?
Now, the last point is like, even though the announcement has been made with our effort
Mhm,
that people are being able to enroll,
Yeah.
get enrolled, admitted in SIPTE University after 10 years. It doesn't mean that people are physically able to go there because there is
Right. Yeah.
restriction,
Because of the
restrictions. And those who have worked to get admission doesn't have the authority to remove the legal restrictions on the
Right.
movement restrictions.
Okay.
So that's mean, yes, it's a very good step, but it doesn't grant that Rohingya. That's why
Yeah.
it will not solve the problem. And if like
Yeah.
Muhammadiyah has any room to accommodate for bachelor to master, like 5 to 10 Rohingya students, they may be able to study. And those who has travel document like passports and things like that.
All right. Yeah, that's good, brother. We do have experience. I also one of the let's just say officer who was doing that scheme. That is the scheme that we have with the Patani student for undergraduate. So more than 320, I guess, already graduated from our university. So but we pause for a second. Yeah, I respond to brother Mo question here. They're studying all in our university, some here in Jakarta, some in Yogyakarta, and some also in Surakarta, with the scheme of scholarship, but it's only tuition fee free. So the cost of living is still under their own responsibility, although in some universities who has a dormitory, then of course we provide them the dormitory. That means also including the meal and stuff. The way how Patani can do with us like that is the government, brother. This is maybe what something you need to take a note boldly and to discuss with your government. So the government, under the order of the King of Thailand, form a committee. They call it SPPAC, Southern Border something authority, SPPAC. So this authority, it was still led under the one star, so it's under general. So I met with him twice, and in Jakarta, they visited our organization, and of course, first it was initiated by our chairman. So they have an MOU, so government to Muhammadiyah. So if you can do this kind of scheme with your government, it will be easier, because then we talk to our foreign ministry, and then of course, because they will be doing the study here in Indonesia, then it will be easy for the way how to implement the project on the scholarship. So you can send as many as possible based on the MOU, if we can do that. But the only way it can be done is that through your government. So your government need to have like a specific bureau that will be doing on specific on this scholarship, and then they talk with us in Muhammadiyah, and then we can further do with the signing, and then soon we can implement the project, because they will be starting at our university, so it's more easier.
Okay, thank you, brother. I think the challenge for us, we have two parallel governments now, and
I know
so it's gonna be complicated for many years. That's the first thing. The second thing is most of the people who would be interested to go to Indonesia to study would be Muslim, and promoting educations for Muslim is not the priority of any government. Even though I am part of one government among the parallel one, it's not their priority, and I think the only one high level person in the government. Even in the low level there is none, I think. So only one person in the whole government infrastructure.
Yep.
So still there is a lot of work that's need to be done when it's come to the this minority. So my point would be, if in case that the people are able to support their own cost, living cost, do you think there are a space we can have that through MOU, like through CSI, like funding 10 10 students, and if the tuition fees can be waived, and if they can those who are not able to cover the cost. I think living cost is more or less the same, like even Indonesia is better quality and cheaper than Yangon,
right.
or other part. Quality of life is better, and then cost is less. And I think in some cases, maybe CSI or myself, I can put some personal effort as well to support some student. Like, let's say if we send 10 to 20 student. So for living cost, I think there would be also possibility as well there, and I can raise fund for them if it is required as well. So if you can, what could be the next step in order to move that? If you can provide me maybe by email or by text some, okay, this is the next step to be doing, that would be much appreciated.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, Dr. Abelia, we interrupted you, and you know she teaches. So when somebody interrupt and take the floor, you can see how the teacher lecturer could.
Yes.
Yeah, very like traveling.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No,
I need to leave, and I really appreciate it. It's not the end, because I please don't take it as wrong or inappropriate, because I had one unexpected meeting with if anything that you want to tell me before I leave, or we can have it after, like between.
Yes. Can we, Pak, before you leave, because now the commercial flight is back, and then I know like many people have come back to Myanmar, and then I think we can see, I mean, like we can plan maybe sometime like in 3 months from now for you to visit the centers. I think that should be like still like a possibility later on, and then for
very
the,
good idea. Very good idea.
At least one time.
Kuala Lumpur.
There's no quarantine, and
many foreigners have come back there, and then some of our staff have come back to Myanmar. It's possible.
It's a very good idea. It can be short, brother. It can be short, and I think Rakhine State is relatively secure compared to relatively safe. So please see, if you cannot do in 3 months, the schedule, we can keep it open. We can find resource to bring. So,
okay, good. Thank you very much, Brother Mu. I hope to see you on September, inshallah, during my visit in the United States.
I will be your guide here. So please spare 1 to 2 days so you can see around here. It's not far.
If you get go down, I will be meeting with my supervisor when I was working with the U.S. Embassy. I is going to Jakarta July, then I will be meet here in Jakarta, and then on September he will be also become my guide. So we can go to State Department and somewhere in DC around.
Okay, very good, very good. Or if you cannot come, I will come to see where you are.
Sure. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us, brother, and thank also for your marvelous work, and indeed wish you all your success in the US, and also for your people, for the Rohingya.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, Babel. Jadi we move to bahasa Indonesia because no no brother. Tapi alhamdulillah ini saya sangat senang ya mendengar banyak progres yang positif ya, dan itu yang selalu saya selalu impikan dalam setiap humanitarian assistance ya, terutama di Palestina juga saya sama gitu, berharap suatu saat kita juga move to masalah politik ya, karena memang di situ solusinya ya. Jadi bagi Palestina ya, Palestina harus merdeka seperti itu. Nah, itu menjadi agenda-agenda bagian ya dari hal-hal kecil yang bisa kita kontribusikan. Nah, di Rohingya ini alhamdulillah ya, mereka bisa masuk ke universitas meskipun masih ada beberapa hal yang tadi Brother Angcomu beritahukan, tapi itu sebuah berita yang bagus sudah. Mbak Abel nulis di buku CSIS, waduh itu membanggakan. Oke, jadi gimana yang terakhir sekarang, Mbak? Tadi jadi laporan akhir sudah di ini ya, sudah
Pak.
Jadi
Kalau masalah jadi untuk final report tertulisnya itu sudah diselesai desain, mungkin finalisasi bisa dalam minggu ini. Kemarin yang agak terlambat itu videonya karena ada
Ya, itu
sebenarnya
bagus
videonya
sekali sudah itu.
videonya editing yang tambahan lazismu dan lain
Iya,
sebagainya
karena
karena
itu.
karena uang mereka. Karena habis ada liburan sangat panjang sekali untuk Buddha kan kemarin Tinjan itu 10 hari Pak, 10 hari itu libur, jadi agak terlambat. Kemudian ada Idul Fitri dan lain sebagainya, makanya baru bisa kemarin saya forward ke Bapak. Terus kemudian kalau dari sisi tadi yang sudah saya sampaikan, bangunannya dua-duanya sudah selesai dari beberapa bulan yang lalu. Mungkin tambahannya karena yang untuk bangunan kedua itu fungsinya adalah vocational training center. Jadi akan ada equipment, terus kemudian hal-hal lain yang untuk operationnya itu diperlukan adanya surat tambahan gitu, Pak. Jadi tapi mungkin hanya sekedar formalitas sebenarnya dari situ dari Bapak. Ini ada Mas Abdul Malik gabung barusan.
Mas Malik, apa kabar? Tadi udah.
Alhamdulillah baik, Mas Wahid, teman-teman lain. Ya, itulah.
Selamat pagi, Bapak.
Munculin belum mandi nggak apa-apa, saya juga belum mandi kok.
Enggak, saya pas kebetulan lagi rapat juga ini, cuma bisa ditinggalin.
Alah, mendua ya. Oke.
Dan Muhammadiyah biasa mendua, Mas.
Saya belum ini sebenarnya, Mbak. Kan biasanya saya download, saya put di YouTube saya, baru kemudian saya share. Tapi hari ini semuanya akan saya selesaikan, saya akan share sudah di Bapak-Bapak, dan itu setelah ada info terutama berapa yang perlu kita harus transfer lagi itu.
Iya, saya
infokan gitu, Mbak.
Iya, saya kurang tahu pasti saya nggak punya di dalam pikiran sekarang, tapi sepertinya 10% sisa terakhir ya Pak, setelah menerima report kami yang final report itu kan. Jadi setelah insya Allah akhir minggu ini setelah saya pulang ke Jakarta, saya sampaikan, kirimkan. Kemudian yang tadi saya sudah disampaikan Pak Aung dan juga saya sempat sampaikan sedikit, alhamdulillah sudah ada beberapa donor tambahan yang mereka tertarik untuk membiayai program-program lanjutan dari Muhammadiyah itu. Ya.
Strateginya ya, bagus sekali itu.
Iya, dari Swiss, kemudian ada yang dari donor-donor yang konsorsium itu yang biasanya memberikan donor humanitarian assistance, mereka juga tertarik untuk mulai peace building initiative yang masih dalam gray area ini juga. Jadi small scale grants 20 ribuan, sekitar 15 ribuan untuk running dan sustaining the activities yang sudah di-initiate sama Muhammadiyah kemarin, yang pembentukan village committees di situ kan itu belum pernah sebelumnya antara Muslim dan Buddha dan beberapa minoritas lain untuk duduk bersama frequently kayak bulanan seperti itu. Dan difasilitasi gitu Pak. Terus kemudian di minimal 1 atau 2 kali ada training ataupun workshop tentang social cohesion, tentang apa itu pluralisme, hal-hal yang mungkin banyak orang take it for granted, tapi untuk mereka hal tersebut masih sangat pengetahuan yang sangat basic sekali gitu, untuk bagaimana hidup berdampingan satu sama lain. Jadi hal-hal seperti itu, terus kemudian juga untuk training vocational trainingnya juga ada beberapa donor yang ingin juga untuk memberikan bantuan untuk bisa ditambah lagi gitu. Jadi kemarin kan sudah graduation dengan Pak Bahtiar hadir.
Ya. Ya kemana waktu itu ya? Kemana
Bapak luar negeri kayaknya. Lagi ke Turki apa perjalanan kayaknya.
Iya persis, saya masih ingat itu pas
Mm-mm.
perjalanan.
November Pak. Gitu.
Ya.
Mas Wahid, mungkin ada pertanyaan dari saya.
Ya.
Terima kasih Bu Bella terkait informasi exit strategiknya. Kita kan pasti melihat future proof-nya bahwa akan ada pasti kejadian yang serupa lah ya untuk antisipasi tersebut ya. Kedepannya ini baiknya seperti apa ya kalau untuk emergency response dan pemulihan dininya gitu, proses siklusnya gitu. Saya kepikiran mungkin membicarakan sustainability-nya, dilalah saya pas kebetulan lagi memperbantu Kamar Dagang dan Industri Indonesia, dan mereka kan punya kewirausahaan sosial dan fokusnya adalah market in crisis ya, market in crisis. Jadi kita juga mau expand, maksudnya memang social enterprise dan social business ini adalah core dari sustainability dari sebuah development, salah satu komponen penting ya untuk pemberdayaan masyarakatnya. Memungkinkan nggak kalau kedepannya umpamanya Muhammadiyah Aid nanti bersama Kamar Dagang merumuskan bantuan sosial ekonomi bagi kayak selain Myanmar, terus negara-negara kayak Filipina dan sebagainya, itu menurut Bu Bella seperti apa nanti, khususnya untuk di Myanmarnya gitu, untuk sustainability-nya?
Itu disertasi saya Pak, pasar di pasca konflik Pak di Ambon.
Wow.
Oh iya, saya pernah simak itu ya.
Share dong, ayo mana itu?
Oh udah ada online, ada Pak, sudah ada
share
kalau
dong,
nanti saya share.
Kemarin
Ya,
jadi universitasnya di Belanda?
Tilburg Pak.
Oh Tilburg.
Tilburg University di Belanda. Ya jadi dan kami sebenarnya bukan di Rakhine, setahun lalu baru menyelesaikan riset juga Pak tentang pasar dan economic exchange in conflict areas itu di perbatasan Myanmar dan Cina, dan juga di satu daerah yang terdampak langsung dengan konflik tapi di Shan, agak di, kalau yang ini sebelah timur ya, berbatasan dengan Cina. Tapi itu juga bagaimana kita melihat bahwa sebenarnya aktor-aktor pasar ini baik yang berada di pasarnya sendiri maupun yang para penjual yang mobile seller itu, yang para pedagang keliling itu, mereka kan dari pasar mereka ke daerah-daerah yang dikuasai oleh ethnic armed groups gitu, jadi oleh tentara-tentara militan seperti itu. Tapi justru mereka-mereka ini yang memiliki akses ke sana karena kebutuhan survival needs, daily needs itu yang juga membuat negosiasi antara para militan tersebut mau menerima para pedagang-pedagang ini gitu. Jadi sebenarnya itu ada potensi kalau kita bisa empower those market actors untuk membawa mungkin pesan-pesan perdamaian atau how to equip them with more knowledge about peace, or like how to negotiate with the armed groups, karena mereka berhadapan langsung benar dengan armed groups itu gitu, untuk dapat akses ke desa-desa dan lain sebagainya gitu. Terus kemudian kalau di Rakhine ini masih, kalau saya pernah ke yang Sittwe-nya pasar itu mengobservasi itu, orang-orang bilang bahwa Rohingya itu tidak memiliki akses ke pasar, tetapi sebenarnya kalau saya lihat pagi-pagi sekali jam 4:30 saya datang ke sana, itu banyak sekali Rohingya yang datang juga ke sana sebelum matahari terbit. Terus mereka langsung balik itu dengan kan mereka tinggal di camp-camp yang sebenarnya terbuka juga kan, tidak tertutup itu kan, mereka bisa lalu lalang juga kan, yang itu yang Mingela itu. Jadi sebelum matahari terbit mereka sudah kembali lagi ke camp mereka dengan beli sayur-sayuran gitu. Nah ini belum dieksplor sama sekali Pak Malik, saya manggilnya Pak Malik apa? Aduh, Pak Malik. Jadi
Mas aja nggak apa-apa.
Ya, Mas Malik.
Biar mudah ya, Mas Malik ya.
Mas Malik. Jadi sebenarnya isu ini sangat menarik untuk arah ke peace building-nya. Tapi kalau untuk humanitarian assistance dengan market, mungkin lebih ke pasar-pasar kaget dan pasar-pasar bantuan-bantuan kalau memang konfliknya pecah lagi gitu. Tapi untuk sustainability, untuk peace building initiatives itu belum banyak dieksplor, Pak. Jadi ada potensi ke sana dari riset-riset yang kita baru selesaikan kemarin, aktor-aktornya, tapi belum diidentifikasi kebutuhan terhadap tiap aktornya itu apa, karena kan berbeda-beda gitu.
Ya, terima kasih banyak Bu Dela. Karena memang jujur aja kita lagi mendesain ya, lagi brainstorming termasuk untuk urusan Ukraina kan, karena Indonesia rupanya 28% mengimpor berbagai aneka ragam produk ya, bahan dari Ukraina dan 1% malah dari Rusianya gitu. Dan kemarin kan kedutaan Ukraina udah minta bantuan, tetapi bantuan yang kita bisa bantukan melalui Kadin dan nanti mengajak bersama dengan Muhammadiyah adalah terkait sosial ekonomi dan social enterprise gitu. Dan ini memang lagi merumuskan long term investment ya, karena biasalah otaknya para pengusaha kan pasti akan mengkalkulasi resiko dan bagaimana profit, ya walaupun margin profitnya pasti kecil ya, tapi nggak besar, namanya mengedepankan sosial. Sekiranya nanti kalau ada investment proses yang perlu kita pelajari untuk Myanmar dan kita bisa menggait CSI sebagai fasilitator ya, kita anggap sebagai fasilitator mitra kita di lapangan untuk pemberdayaan ekonomi mikro, bisa share nanti bahannya sama kita, nanti kita bisa merumuskan suatu proposal bersama, karena ada satu negara memang ingin mendukung South to South cooperations dalam hal ini gitu, dan menginginkan Indonesia lead dalam peace process, tetapi in a new way approach, diantaranya ya market peace building itu gitu. Karena yang konvensional yang ham-ham itu udah nggak laku gitu, resistensinya tinggi sekali gitu.
Senang banget saya disertasi.
Ya itu pas lah nanti langsung dengan di expertnya ya, ahlinya. Oke, jadi kita bisa back to business, Mbak Abel, Mas Malik, Puspa. Jadi kita
tapi sebenarnya berkaitan, kalau boleh Pak, berkaitan dengan hal itu, ketika assessment tentang vocational training skills yang akan diberikan itu kan juga ada additional assessment juga, bahwa oke, mereka sudah bisa membuat hal-hal ini, membuat sabun, menjahit dan lain sebagainya, tetapi yang harus di bridging juga how we can ini Pak, kayak marketingnya, terus kemudian pemasaran marketingnya, building ekosistem, economic ekosistem di situnya, terus kemudian biar itu tidak jadi satu skill yang oke, sudah tahu ini tapi tidak bisa dilanjutkan lagi dan tidak ada visi untuk how to monetize that gitu. Ya, nah, itu yang sebenarnya kurikulumnya kemarin belum sempat mencakup hal tersebut ya. Gitu.
Nah, itulah yang Mbak coba dibuat proposal lagi sederhana, konseptual dulu berikan ke Mas Malik, karena kan dia ada dengan Kadin. Jadi itu juga nanti sebagai follow up exit strategi dari proyek kita yang 5 training itu gitu ya, terutama yang memang menghasilkan produk seperti membuat sabun, menjahit. Kalau yang repairing cellphone gitu-gitu kan insya Allah bisa eksis ya, karena memang pasarnya ada. Nah, kalau yang menghasilkan produk, nah saya kira itu cocok tadi yang Mas Malik itu. Nah, saya kira insya Allah kita punya apa ya, kita seeding something, kita udah membenihkan sesuatu yang bagus. Nah, nanti tinggal exit strateginya, kalau bisa kita ambil juga, kita akan follow up. Kalau tidak ya ada institution ya, ada partners ya, can continue the work gitu. Oke, jadi intinya yang bagi kita menunggu itu ya, yang laporan akhir dari Mbak Abel, kemudian forecast yang keuangan kita masih dalam tanda kutip utang, kita ingin segera selesaikan, dan semoga nanti proses untuk transfernya itu mudah lah, ataupun ya kita go and forth berapa kali itu kan Mbak, yang uang ke Adnan itu ya Allah, itu susah ya, tapi alhamdulillah ada jalan keluar yang insya Allah kita semua bisa jalani, dan juga yang hopefully yang terakhir ini tidak terlalu susah ya, tapi whatever it is nanti kita tunggu saja dari yang final report dan apa namanya itu request for last funding. Atau ada hal yang lain lagi mungkin Mas Bah ingin sampaikan, mungkin Mbak Abel bisa juga nanti merespon, kalau tidak kita bisa akhiri.
Iya Pak, sebenarnya terkait dengan hal tadi, kami sebenarnya ingin sekali ada perwakilan dari Muhammadiyah Aid atau Lazismu untuk bisa datang melihat langsung dua building itu, dan karena dananya masih ada yang dari 10% itu mungkin bisa diambil dari situ. Saya tidak tahu bagaimana prosesnya nanti, tetapi bisa dianggar kalau boleh, kan itu memang awalnya sudah dianggarkan untuk monitoring and evaluation 3 kali kan. Iya 3 kali. Jadi setidaknya kalau bisa, karena memang sudah banyak sekali CSI pun juga sudah pada kembali ke sana. Saya yang akhir Juni rencananya saya balik ke Myanmar.
Akhir Juni ya Mbak ya.
Gitu. Terus kemudian tapi bisa kapan saja. Tapi saya berharap minimal ada foto di depannya, Bapak bisa lihat langsung, tidak hanya di video. Karena ini pembuatannya di masa kudeta Pak, jadi kayak rasanya lebih ini banget gitu dibanding kalau lancar-lancar aja gitu.
Iya, a lot of miracles gitu ya, banyak keajaiban-keajaiban ini, alhamdulillah. Oke, tentu itu Mbak Abel. Bagi saya mungkin agak lebih mudah ya, karena nanti insya Allah everything going smooth. Insya Allah Agustus sudah ada di Malaysia, jadi itu lebih mudah bagi saya untuk travel ke sana. Nanti saya diskusikanlah dengan dengan Mas Bah, tentu dengan teman Lazismu, saya akan ajak mereka ya, karena mereka adalah yang survival lah gampangnya ya di dalam fundraising ini. Jadi nanti setelah ini saya akan banyak informasikan Mbak ke Muhammadiyah Aid, grup kita di WA, dan juga ke grup Lazismu. Nanti kita akan info update ke Mbak Abel lah dalam 2 minggu ke depan.
Iya Pak. Pak Bahtiar, suaranya?
Suara saya bisa didengar?
Bisa,
ya,
bisa.
Bisa ya? Sebenarnya ya tadi untuk possibility kita ke sana dan take photograph in front of the building, it's very nice. I think it's Wahid. Please make a schedule to travel way together. Miss Abel Juni ya? Anu?
Akhir Juli. Akhir Juni.
Mau travel ke sana nggak untuk itu?
Ini Mas Malik melu Mas.
Ya, betul lah Mas Malik, kita agendakan. Cuman kalau Juni masih susah bagi saya Mbak Abel, karena Juni kemungkinan di pertengahan itu saya juga akan kembali ke Perlis, bisa jadi bersama rektor-rektor itu, dan kemungkinan besar provider juga akan hadir. Jadi either yang paling memungkinkan itu setelah Agustus memang Mbak. Nanti saya.
Kalau ini saya pengen lebih jelas terkait ownership buildingnya itu loh Mbak Abel, kemarin gimana 25 tahun, 20 tahun atau gimana lupa saya. Ownership-nya bangunan CLC sama
dua-duanya berbeda Pak. Coba nanti saya cek di dokumen, saya nggak bawa laptop. Nanti saya WhatsApp di grupnya ya langsung Pak untuk ownership-nya. Itu. Tapi kalau permission-nya, penggunaannya itu 10 tahun. Tapi ownership-nya kita beli sepertinya Pak. Tapi saya cek dulu, salah satunya kita beli. Jadi bukan sewa di situ.
Ya.
Tapi habis ini saya cek di laptop untuk lebih pastinya Pak, biar tidak memberikan informasi yang salah.
Matur nuwun Mbak Abel. Ya, masih sering jalan-jalan kemana-mana ya Mbak Abel.
Iya Pak, keliling Indonesia Pak.
Suaranya jauh amat Mas Bahtiar.
Nggak tahu nih. Nggak tahu tadi.
Pak Bahtiar followers Instagram saya, jadi tahu kemanapun saya pergi.
Oh gitu ya, gitu Mbak Abel nggak mau share saya ya Instagramnya ya. Oh alah, gitu.
Gitu Pak.
Bu Abel, nanti kapan hari saya undang ke diskusinya Kadin ya terkait market in crisis ya.
Oh boleh Pak, ya senang saya Pak.
Untuk proyek kita sebagai exit strateginya juga bagus.
Oh iya. Untuk yang fokus di supply chain dan marketing itu, karena itu memang sudah di assessment awal, sudah dipikirkan ada gap di situ, tapi karena langsung fokus ke kudeta dan COVID dan lain sebagainya, jadi masih tidak terlalu dibahas juga gitu. Yang penting selesai dulu kita.
Iya, itu double kill itu. Kudeta terus COVID.
Makanya itu saya berharap bisa datang ke sana. Ayo Pak, mari kita lihat. Saya juga penasaran soalnya Pak.
Enggak,
saya
mau.
Mas
Itu
Bakhtiar,
itu, Pak Abel.
Mas Bakhtiar, jenengan kalau berangkat kembali ke Myanmar, adegan ulang itu loh, yang 8 jam perjalanan itu yang yang menegangkan. Jadi kita filmkan kembali. Utamanya jenengan itu loh.
Yang ke Meraau itu ya Pak ya?
Itu
menurut saya itu Mbak Abel.
Reka ulang itu Mas.
Oh iya, dulu itu kan Mas Malik juga datang bareng sama Pak Bah ya waktu itu kan.
Itu dengan teman-teman IH itu.
Iya, sama Surya.
Menurut saya itu, kalau saya udah langsung yang terukur aja gitu. We are not state.
Ya, Pak Wahid kan cuma sampai di situ aja kan.
Sampai aja. Buat apa ke sana? Enggak visible itu.
Tapi Mas Wahid, dilalah kan saya sekarang menjadi fasilitator humanitarian negotiation untuk Asia Pasifik ya. Memang kami secara mentality itu memang dilatih untuk negosiasi di depan, ditodong senjata di depan kita gitu. Jadi sensingnya akan sangat berbeda dengan development ya. Development pasti akan selalu mencari peace, konteks ya. Kalau humanitarian itu ya field minding itu juga bagian daripada kita harus pelajari. Jangan sampai
bisa berarti Mas Malik.
Kenapa?
Field minding.
Oh belum, masih itu tahap selanjutnya nanti karena kan
nanti langsung aja latihan di sana Pak.
Nah, apalagi itu.
Kita field work aja.
Sebenarnya Bu Bella ini bagusnya masuk ke UNDP Search Capacity ini untuk menjadi konsultan negara-negara crisis market. Serius. Nanti aku kasih linknya itu.
All over dia.
Boleh lah, Pak.
Tapi enggak juga lah. Saya waktu yang dengan dulu Mbak Abel juga di NGO itu humanitarian.
Oh, saya elitis sekali sebelum di sini Pak, mediation kan. Kami di pakai jas. Saya di HDC Pak Malik dulu, Center for Humanitarian Dialogue.
Nah, saya kan diundang mereka juga ya waktu ke Filipina itu, ke Sambuanga. Itu juga langsung berhadapan dengan kombatan Mas Malik yang semuanya tidak setuju dengan MILF itu. Jadi mereka datang dari.
Tapi sudah berdasi ya kombatannya ya Pak ya, sudah duduk di meja ya.
Kalau memang Mas Wahid
dari Sulu, dari mana itu Babel 3 itu? Basilan, Sulu.
Aduh, ya. Itu ini Mas Wahid, memang jenengan di proses yang di situnya. Nah, saya konteksnya sebelum situnya gitu. jadi membaur dengan mereka. Nah, itu dua hal yang beda gitu.
Tapi waktu itu saya di warning. Kalau jalan dari hotel tidak boleh melebihi 20 meter katanya. Waduh, saya takut-takut juga itu. Jadi saya jalan-jalan di Sambuanga itu Mbak Abel yang dengan Henry HD ya.
Henry Dunan Center for Humanitarian Dialogue.
Nah, sekarang kita masih kerja dengan mereka, tapi yang di ICG itu ya, International Contact Group yang untuk negosiasinya MILF dengan pemerintah government of Philippines. Oke, anyway, saya kira cukup ini ya Mbak Abel, Mas Malik, Mas Bah. Saya kira kita sudah cukup on the track ya untuk pengakhiran dari proyek kita. Saya senang sekali dan saya menunggu kalau bukunya Mbak Abel ini dengan CSIS, dan tadi juga saya infokan, semoga ini ya, saya masih menulis ini Mbak Abel, tadi yang saya sampaikan untuk sekaligus tidak hanya Rohingya, tapi keseluruhan proyek Muhammadiyah Aid. Jadi di internal Universitas Muhammadiyah Jakarta sekarang itu ada internal research grant ya. Jadi saya sedang menulis dengan satu dosen lainnya dan satu mahasiswa. Nah, itu nanti saya fokuskan pada kinerja Muhammadiyah Aid pada bantuan kemanusiaan internasional dari tahun 2017 sampai tahun 2022. Nah, kalau itu nanti disetujui, nah insya Allah akan laporannya itu akan menyeluruh gitu ya, termasuk yang laporan dengan proyek Myanmar ini. Nanti akan ada 3 besar itu ya, Myanmar, Palestina, sama Patani.
Iya Pak, kemarin ketika saya menulis yang untuk CSIS itu masih sangat sedikit sekali publikasi atau rujukan tentang humanitarian assistance, terutama dari Indonesian organizations. Jadi saya rujukannya masih yang dari luar gitu, yang sudah secondary sources begitu. Jadi kalau memang ini bisa publish dan segera publish itu akan sangat membantu sekali untuk kedepannya studi-studi tentang humanitarian assistance, Indonesian role gitu misalnya.
Iya, dan kalau itu disitasi banyak, saya kira akan lebih juga malah bermanfaat gitu ya. Oke, Mas Bah, masih ada sesuatu yang ingin disampaikan? Cukup?
Cukup, Mas.
Oke, good. Mas Malik?
See you in Myanmar.
Oke, siap. Tinggal tunggu
insya Allah
tiketing dan yang lainnya, Mas. Siap.
Minimal kita bertiga, nanti kita cari dari Lazismu, tetapi tidak bisa dalam waktu dekat, biar Mbak Abel dulu Juni. Saya paling bisa menjanjikan around August lah ya, atau lebih bagusnya setelah Agustus.
Ya, sebagai contoh kan ada penandatanganan antara CBI sama Kadin, dan itu dilakukan secara exchange via email gitu. Dan nanti pada saat pokok karya tersebut mereka exchange dokumen gitu.
Ya. Oke, Mbak Abel terakhir ada komen yang ingin disampaikan?
Enggak ada Pak, cuma mau berterima kasih saja untuk semua dukungannya. Pastinya insya Allah sangat bermanfaat sekali. Bapak bisa lihat sendiri dari video potongannya saja, itu banyak setidaknya 100 orang sudah di training, terus kemudian yang terutama yang sangat diapresiasi adalah bisa mendudukkan 2 village leaders dari 2 community yang dulunya sangat berseteru atau tension di Sidwe itu, kemudian sekarang bisa secara keberlangsungannya bisa dijaga, itu mereka bisa bertemu setiap bulan seperti pertemuan RT gitu ya, yang dulunya itu sama sekali
kita, tidak. Mbak? Maksudnya di community learning center itu?
Iya, di community learning center. Terus sebelum selesai itu mereka di luar di pinggir, di luar rumah orang gitu, di luar pindah-pindah dari satu tempat. Tapi sekarang diusahakan untuk menggunakan fasilitas community learning center-nya di situ. Gitu. Itu sih. Terima kasih banyak untuk Lazismu dan Muhammadiyah itu pastinya, dan bapak-bapak semuanya.
Amin, insya Allah. Oke, Mbak Abel, terima kasih. Kusba, terima kasih. Mas Mike, terima kasih. Insya Allah kita akan follow up agenda kita, saya kira rencana kunjungan situ aja ya, dan tentu kita menunggu laporan akhir dan segala sesuatu yang berkenaan dengan exit strateginya yang tentu akan dimention di dalam laporan akhir itu, dan berapa yang perlu kita komitmen terakhir ya berkenaan dengan funding. Saya kira demikian. Sekali lagi saya ucapkan terima kasih pada Mbak Abel, Brothermu, dan CSI. Kita insya Allah berbuat yang terbaik untuk setiap anak manusia yang demi kebaikan dan bagi perdamaian hidup mereka di masa depan. Saya akhiri, mohon maaf kalau ada kekurangan. Billahi fisabilil haq fastabiqul khairat. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih Bapak-Bapak semuanya. Sehat selalu. Sampai bertemu lagi.
Selamat di Singapura.
Nanti saya follow ya.
Follow lah. Nanti aku follow back.
Mau di follow back. Oke, Pak.